Time Ted Jeffries Award winner. He was also inducted into the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame in the spring of 2025. In 2015, Traylor moved to the collegiate ranks, taking a position with the University of Texas as the special teams coordinator and tight ends coach. After 2 seasons with the Longhorns, he completed assistant head coaching stints at both SMU and Arkansas before being named head coach at the University of Texas San Antonio in December of 2019. Traylor has turned around the UTSA football program by instilling his 210 triangle of toughness culture, which has led to positive results on and off the field. The Gilmer, Texas native has led the Roadrunners to a 46-20 record in his first 5 seasons at the helm, the most wins and best winning percentage by a coach in program history. During the Traylor era, UTSA has captured a pair of conference championships, earned 5 straight bowl berths with back-to-back bowl wins, made a combined 23 appearances in the 3 major national polls. He has received 2 Conference USA Coach of the Year honors and has been a finalist for several National Coach of the Year awards. He has been named AFCA Region 4 Coach of the Year, San Antonio Sportsman of the Year, and Scout.com Big 12 Recruiter of the Year. Coach Traylor has more than 30 years of coaching experience and takes great pride in his Texas high school coaching roots and his continued ties to THSCA coaches across the state. Coach Traylor and his wife Carrie have 3 children, Jordan, Jacob, and JC.
Carrie and I went to Big Sandy. It was just her and I. Then we go to Jacksonville. It's Jordan, Carrie, and I. And then we leave Jacksonville. We go to Gilmer, and Jordan's 6, Jake is 3, JC is just born. You're literally scared to death. I took a pay cut, honestly, to go be the head coach at Gilmer when I left Daddy at Jacksonville. And you're just terrified. And it's always your family that has to, sacrifice the most. So you become extremely close. The biggest supporter of my career, and I'm sure this is probably a pretty standard answer you get, is my wife, Carrie. She's from Houston, and she was in East Texas for 25 years. I bet if you put her on some truth serum, she would tell you that, East Texas would not be her choice. I think it's God's country. I'm not saying she sacrificed because she loved her friends in Big Sandy and in Jacksonville and Gilmer. Those are still her dearest friends. But it just wasn't, probably she's more of a city girl, and she loves San Antonio and Austin and Houston, where I'm probably more cut for the woods and lakes and, big pine trees. So she's been my biggest supporter for sure.
As I've thought back, we didn't call them culture pillars then, but in Gilmer, there were 4 things that we really emphasized: was perfect effort, being selfless, attacking whatever you do, and then do it right or do it again. And of those, I would say Jeff would selfless, because to me, he modeled it. He was a servant leader, and I think he understood that for a man to really feel the fulfillment and the reward in life, that it was going to be selflessly laying down their lives for others. And so that's what he wanted for them. And so I think that's the thing that he emphasized most.
Trust. I think loyalty is a 2-way street. Too many times head coaches talk about loyalty and they demand it, but they don't really give it. And I've tried to model. Our definition of trust is truth over time. And I've really tried to model the best I could to be loyal to my guys, players and coaches. And it doesn't mean I always tell them what they want to hear, but we can all agree to disagree. And I want people to be able to speak freely. And I've said this a million times to my guys, all wrong is all right, as long as we're all.
High school is the ultimate experimental lab, because you get a little bit more grace at the high school level than they do when they're coaching at the level that they are now. So, as a head high school coach, you have to learn how to get your program in place, and it's coaching schedules, teaching schedules, off-season, multi-sport athletes. How do you balance all of those things to be able to have a total program on a high school campus? Then you go to the college game, and the majority of that stuff is done for you. But as the head coach, when you look, and you see if components are not in place, at the college level, how are we getting stronger? How are we teaching character still? How are we doing all of those things? I would say that his relationships effort and getting kids to perform as best they can to perfection is probably his best trait.
Yeah, it's my greatest one. I have been blessed that I went in the Texas Sports Hall of Fame the same year I'm going in the THSCA Hall of Honor, and I've been asked that question a ton with all my friends because we just finished up that one, and this is the one to me because these are my heroes, and I'm not sure I really appreciated them as much as I should have until I became a college coach. And when I started traveling the country, I just really assumed everybody did it the way we did it. I don't travel very much before I became a college coach. Pretty much all I knew was Texas. And when I recruited the country for Coach Strong and Coach Morris, I didn't know that it wasn't like this everywhere. I just thought everybody was like us. And when you travel the country, they've got great athletes like we do, but nobody does it like the THSCA, like nobody. It's not even close. And I have such a great appreciation for Joe and Glenn and what Coach Rutledge and all those guys have done before us. And I've really given my word when I realized that 11 years ago I was going to be on a mission for the THSCA. And it's not a coincidence that I wear that cap. And it's not a coincidence my favorite pictures are when I have that THSCA cap. Johnson Nelson at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame when he sent me that picture that's in the magazine. He's like, this is a badass picture. And I'm like, I very rarely like a picture of me, but I love that freaking picture because of the THSCA on my cap. And it's my greatest honor, there's no doubt.
We've known each other a long time, and it was a thrill for me to call state championships that you won. And that was very moving tribute. But I came away from wondering, what possesses a man to leave a job to take a pay cut to be a head coach at the other?
That's a great question. Well, Danny was sitting right beside me when Dr. Bennett offered me the job, and I told Danny, I'm like, look, he's going to offer me $52,000 for this job. And it was a 4-3 vote, because I was from Gilmer, right? I got kicked out of the National Honor Society. So 3 of those board members didn't forget that. So it was a probationary contract, $16,000 pay cut. And Danny said, I'll pay you $10,000 more if you stay. And I said, well, that's 78 now. That's a real pay cut. And he said, Jeff, do you think you can do it? I said, Coach, I know I can. He said, now remember, even Jesus couldn't even do it in his own hometown. And I said, all right, Coach. He said, but if you don't make it, I'll hire you back, so go try. So I did. True story. He's right there if you don't believe me.
Clearly, as was evidence there, you loved East Texas, and it still means an awful lot to you. We're in your town now. This is where you apply your trade, your craft. What does it mean to you to receive this honor, to be inducted in the city of San Antonio where you're currently doing your work?
Well, first of all, everybody believes I'm the most famous person from Gilmer. The truth is, Harold Leverett is the most famous person from Gilmer, Texas. So if y'all didn't know that, y'all know that now. So all your Balfour rings, those from Gilmer, Texas, y'all need to all know that. Next, well, just the THSCA, just to let you know how committed I am to honoring what I said. My defensive coordinator, Jess Lell, won a state championship at Lake Travis and coached him at Rockball. My pass game coordinator, Joe Price, won multiple state championships at North Shore. My run game coordinator, Kurt Traylor, won multiple state championships at Gilmer. The real head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, Matt Turner, won state championships at Marshall and at Gilmer. So I don't think my president, Taylor Amy, who's here tonight, and my AD, Dr. Campos, would have hired me if D.W. Rutledge wouldn't have told him to hire me. So I have an unbelievable respect for THSCA. And to do it here in a city that Carrie and I have expressed how much we love, it's just been another answered prayer. And when I got the calls from Joe and from Charles that I got inducted to the Hall of Fame, y'all got to remember, I was 3-5 at the time. We were like terrible. And I told them they were both just tried to keep me from quitting and give me a pity party. And then we went on a huge winning streak, so I appreciate Charles and Joe for giving me a reinvention of confidence.
Well, the winning streak continues. Congratulations, Coach.
As the president of the THSCA, it is my honor to represent this great association, and it's my privilege tonight to formally induct you into the THSCA Hall of Honor Class of 2025.
You're the best, brother.